Well, it's Tuesday morning and I'm just having a walk on the beach. Not much in mind right now. Just enjoying the nice weather. I'm here in Virginia. I won't say exactly where, but in the Hampton Roads area. The last few weeks have been scorching, so this week has been like a nice breather. Highs of the 80s and lows in the 70s. Right now it's probably like 70 something degrees. Real nice. I've been taking advantage of this week so far. Just being outside more. Getting some stuff done in my mom's yard. Occupying some of the free time that I've had since I took the DRP 2.0. There's a difference. There is a difference. Because the first DRP gave you more time off. It was a longer or a bigger severance package. Not as far as dollar amounts, but admin leave. But the first DRP came around and I thought about taking it. I wasn't sure because I had a job in Florida lined up. But things just got murky. The current administration, have their way of doing things. Some could say it's chaotic. Some could say it's been quite disrespectful to government workers. But I won't get into the politics. I will say this though. A lot of the government workers, not all of them, probably not even, I don't know the percentage, but there are a lot of veterans who work for the government. So to call government employees lazy and whatever other adjectives and verbs you'd like to throw in there, you kind of disrespecting the veterans. But this country is kind of infamous for disrespecting vets. Anyway, we're just out here cruising. Let's take a second. What's on my mind? When I come to the beach, there's not much on my mind usually. It's like as soon as I hit the beach, everything just dissipates. It disappears. Not much matters. That's why I'm convinced that I need to live on the beach. Like I need a beach house. I need to live on an island like Jamaica with favorable weather. No summer, no winter. Mild winter, something of that nature. But hey, so I'm out here just walking. We got people swimming. Good morning. Being on DRP it's been a lot of things. It's been a blessing. It's been a challenge. It's been fun. It's been boring. honestly, I didn't expect to be unemployed the whole time. Started working before I was 16. I was working under the table, so I'm used to working. You know, I've only had one period of my life like this where I was unemployed, and that was when I was terminated from Walmart. I was terminated from Walmart, but not only did I have an interview that evening that I got terminated, I had already had the apprenticeship at Norfolk Naval Shipyard. I had that already lined up. I'm not sure when I got terminated, but I know my start date for the apprenticeship that year was July, mid-July. That was 2011. Yeah. So during that time of unemployment, about a 6-month period, I did a lot of traveling. Nothing international, all within the States. But I spent a lot of time with family, and I spent a lot of time with friends. I definitely went to see my son a lot. I spent a lot of time with my son. I couldn't even tell you what age he was, how old he was then, but he was pretty young. Even on some of the trips that I had with friends, I would stop by and pick him up, and he would hang out with us. I wonder if he remembers that. Anyway, during that time of unemployment, I had a plan. I had everything mapped out, and the only thing I had to do was stay out of trouble, which you would think would be easy or something simple, but that was a challenge as well. Hanging out with people that I grew up with. That's when I kind of learned that I had to kind of break off from not my roots, but some childhood friends, or you know, the familiar faces. I mean, that period of time was the confirmation. The sign initially came when I joined the Navy back in 2005. I pretty much had to leave everything behind. Everything I knew, everybody I knew. I had to make new friends. You know, I was always on the road, or, you know, weren't always in one location. From boot camp to A school to going to my first duty station. Soon after getting to my first duty station, we were starting like sea trials and stuff like that. And before you knew it, we were out to sea for our 6-month cruise, our 6-month deployment. 6 months is a joke because they always say that, knowing that it's going to be extended. But 6 months is better for morale. We'll tell them 6 months, and when we get them out in the middle of the water, we'll let them know this. It's going to be 9 months. And even after that, you can get extended again. Yeah, so back to my current situation. ERP. I've had government contractors contact me for work. Most of them pretty much align with what I've done in the past, not necessarily recently, but uh, jobs that I could jump in and just get started, pretty much, due to my experience and my skills. But what they were offering as far as wages, I didn't feel like it was something to make me jump, especially seeing as how I am on admin leave right now. I'm on administrative leave, getting paid every 2 weeks. So I made a decision to hold out. I'm just waiting. I've just been waiting. Now there has been offers to work for private contractors, government contractors, but because I'm on DRP, they're not sure if they should hire me or if they could hire me. They would need my current employer to kind of send them an email, give them some type of documentation showing that I am on DRP and that it's okay to hire me. There's no conflict in interest. That stuff is above me in a way. But so here we are. I've had a job lined up for Florida, but the current administration keeps on extending the hiring freeze for the government. Yeah, I know I could probably just get a job anywhere, but why get a job anywhere? Why just take on any type of work that I'm not passionate about or that I don't enjoy doing? That was the reason why I left the shipyard. For years I was underpaid. I took a pay cut one year, for one promotion, just to, get ahead and just to advance in my career. I'm still not sure that was the right thing to do, but not saying that with regret. I'm just saying, look at where I am now. At the end of the day, I'm still blessed and I can't complain. Things could be far worse. Things could definitely be far worse. But I figured, hey, let me journal this in one way or another. They say journaling is good for you, right? Well, I don't feel like writing this down. So I just figured I'd record it. Maybe it's something that could benefit someone else. I don't know. Maybe it's something I could reflect on later on. But in the meantime, just walking this beach, enjoying the weather. And I remain optimistic and positive about my future. I guess outside of my faith in God, there are some things that help me remain positive and optimistic. Support system. I have my mother, she's a really good, she's been a really good support system. Not like I feel like I need someone, but it's just good to have somebody to talk to that can relate to me. As far as family goes. I've always been a person that kept to himself. You could say antisocial. But since the pandemic, I think it's been far worse. Don't get me wrong, I love, hanging out with people or just meeting new people, having good experiences, but overall, nothing's better than my own company. I don't have to watch what I say. I don't have to alter how I think and hide how I feel because of somebody's political choice or their sexuality. Or now it's getting to the point of male and female. But anyway, other things that help me stay optimistic and positive about this is I do have rental property and the cash flow is pretty good. My rental units pay for themselves. And, and some. So we have that. We have income coming in from the 9 to 5 up until the end of September. But one main thing is my trading. I've been trading, investing since 2017. 2017, I first got my toes wet with Bitcoin. Well, let's just say crypto, because that wasn't the only crypto that I bought or traded. But yeah, that was my start. I started to get serious about investing. Started getting serious about investing in 2018. Memorial Day weekend. I'll never forget it. So during this time off on my DRP, I've been doing a variety of things, but one interesting thing I've been doing is playing around with ChatGPT. That's not the only AI tool I've been using, but that was the first one that I used when it first came out, and so pretty much stuck with that one for the most part. But what I did was I took some of my experience, information that I learned from like YouTube videos and more so books that I read, and I've created a couple strategies based on that. It's been a challenge because I'm not sure if I should focus on the long term or short term. Should I focus on just generating annual income, or just more so long-term trades, or should I be focused on generating income to replace the 9 to 5? When I really got started serious with the trading, that's when I started to think, hey, maybe I should replace my 9 to 5 income with trading. Not because I felt like I had to, not because of getting rich quick type of thing, except though that did happen one time. Um, it was more so just getting fed up, being fed up with being underpaid. Um, being underpaid or being overused. Because I'm a self-starter, a diligent worker, and I take pride in my work, I stand out. It shows. And supervisors, management have taken advantage of it over and over and over again. And the worst part is they'll smile in your face and, you know, they'll say good things about you in your face, but what are they saying behind your back? Because you're not getting the promotions. You're not getting the raise or the pay that other people are getting. I had people in the apprenticeship with me. We started the same day, July 2011. And they've advanced much further than I have, or quicker than I have. Have had more opportunities. I even had some people, you know, along down the line work with me. Like we have the same job. But I was a GS7, GS9, while they're a GS11, GS12. I don't know everybody's story, but when you see this happening over and over and over, that's a sign that something's not right. This is not just a one-person situation. I don't want to get into the details, but I have an analytical mind. I've always had an analytical mind. And that's why being in trading and real estate is good for me, because I get to use my skills. I get to use my natural mind state. But what I'm trying to say is I pick up on certain things. Okay, the people who are getting paid more than me, they fit this, I don't put people in a box, but they check certain boxes. Be it appearance, mindset, or attitude. I don't know. I want to be vague. I want to. You know, I don't want to be negative here, and I don't want to. I don't know. But say that to say this. I deserve better. And so that was one thing that kind of pushed me to keep going, even when I struggled with trading, even when I struggled with investing. So we're talking 2018, now it's 2025. Last year was my first profitable year. Yeah, that's right. First profitable year. And man, it felt good. And the profit was very small. Very, very, very tiny. Very tiny. But it was a profit. It was the beginning of turning the corner. And since then, I've only improved. The only thing I'm guilty of right now is, or after that, is not necessarily sticking to one strategy. I haven't jumped around like I used to, but this year alone, I've had to do some experimenting and research, back testing. I use ChatGPT to create and backtest two strategies. One a long-term strategy and one I would call a short-term strategy. One strategy would be for investing. The other strategy would be for trading. Not only trading, but trading so that I will qualify as a trader in the eyes of the IRS. And that's important because I am operating as a business, so why not set myself up appropriately to take advantage of the tax benefits that come along with it, right? So that's where we are right now. Not necessarily looking for employment. Last month, I was really on vacation. Like, I didn't do much of anything as far as trying to be productive. Broke off from my morning routine, and I kind of existed for a month. Not in a bad way, not in a depression type of way. Just letting go of the usual and just, I don't know, just taking it all in and reevaluating life and the many aspects of it. So, right now, I'm not sure if I'm ever going to work again. If I work again, I want it to be something that I could use my experience and skills. I've been with the government for 14 years outside of my time in the Navy. And if I'm not using that experience, I kind of don't want to work because I built up so much experience, so much skill. I pushed through so much. And it doesn't make sense for me to just throw that all away. Excuse me. So I have the job in Florida lined up. They say they're going to wait for me. They're going to wait until the hiring freeze is over. And I want that job. I interviewed for it. It's along my, it aligns with my experience and skills, and it allows me to expand upon that, opening the door for new experiences, new opportunity, new skills, a new environment, change of scenery. And Florida compared to Virginia is a little more tax friendly. So just on the investing or trading side of things, that would be very beneficial because I would be able to save so much money in state tax. Especially looking at how I'm more profitable than I was last year. And I really don't think it's going to be anything but a increase in profitability. So things like tax savings is key. So I don't know. I don't have much else to talk about today. This wasn't planned. Maybe some of the things I said today was encouraging to someone else, insightful, or whatever else. But I hope it is to somebody's benefit. Maybe I'll get out here and do more videos. Maybe I can dive more into certain topics, trading and investing, maybe real estate investing. I don't know, we'll see. But I think that's all we have today. So if you're watching this, I hope you have a blessed day. Be positive, be optimistic. Because there's a bright side to every situation. Even if you're going through it now, something's around the corner. Just hang in there.